Imagine everything you've ever known about good and evil being turned upside down. Lucifer and Satan, two names burned into our minds as the ultimate symbols of darkness, the cloven, hoofed architects of sin and suffering. For centuries, we've been told they're one and the same, the fallen angel, the devil, the enemy of all that's holy. But what if that's a lie? What if Lucifer isn't Satan at all? Today, we're not just peeling back the layers of a story, we're tearing it apart. We're diving into ancient texts, forbidden wisdom, and the shadowy power of symbols to reveal a truth that's been hidden from us for millennia. And along the way, we'll confront a question that might just rewrite everything you believe. If Lucifer isn't Satan, then who or what is he? Before we plunge into this abyss of revelation, I need you to do something. Hit that like button right now. It's not just a tap on a screen, it's a spark. A signal that you're ready to join me in igniting a new world, one built on truth and awakened consciousness. That simple action helps push this knowledge out to others who are searching just like you. And while you're at it, pre-orders for the digital edition of my new book, Neogenesis, Dawn of the New Mind, are live on Amazon. Search it up. Grab it now. The paperback and hardcover drop May 16th, but the digital version is your ticket to these ideas today. This isn't just a video or a book, it's a movement. So, let's begin. Picture this: you're holding a Bible, flipping through its pages, hunting for the name Lucifer. Go ahead, try it. I'll wait. What do you find? Nothing, right? Well, maybe not nothing. If you've got an older translation like the King James, you might stumble across it once. Tucked away in Isaiah 14, verse 12-20, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?" It's a line that drips with drama, like the opening scene of a cosmic tragedy. But here's the twist that'll make your jaw drop: that one mention of Lucifer is a mistake, a total mistranslation. It was never about a devil or a fallen angel. It's not even close. Let's rewind to the source. In the original Hebrew, the word isn't Lucifer, it's Hallel, meaning shining one or morning star. And what's the morning star? It's not some winged rebel crashing out of heaven. It's Venus, that dazzling dot of light you can spot in the sky just before dawn. In Isaiah, this isn't a supernatural showdown. It's a poetic smackdown aimed at a real guy, the king of Babylon. The writers were throwing shade, calling him the morning star, a big shot, a shining ruler, only to say, "Look at you now, toppled from your throne, fading into the dust." It's a human story, a political dig, not a heavenly war. Most modern Bibles, like the NIV or ESV, don't even bother with Lucifer anymore. They stick to morning star or day star, keeping it true to the Hebrew. So, in today's translations, Lucifer's grand total is 0 appearances. That's right, 0. The name you've been taught to dread isn't even in the book that's supposed to define it. So, how did this one little word, Hallel, morph into the horned nightmare of our imaginations? Buckle up, because we're about to follow the trail. As Christianity spread across the Roman Empire, it collided with a culture obsessed with myths and symbols. In Roman lore, Lucifer wasn't a person, it was just Latin for Venus, as the morning star from luxe light and fair to bear. It meant light bearer, a poetic emblem of dawn, hope, a new day breaking through the night. Beautiful, right? But as Christian ideas mingled with Roman flair, something shifted. Early believers were grappling with the big stuff. Why do we suffer? Where does evil come from? They needed a villain, a face for the chaos. And then someone, maybe a monk, Maybe a poet, latched onto Isaiah's fallen from heaven line and thought, this could be a treat, the devil's origin story. Slap the Roman name Lucifer on it. And suddenly, the morning star isn't a planet anymore. It's an angel gone rogue. This wasn't some dusty footnote. It exploded. Think of the medieval paintings, a radiant angel tumbling into flames, wings singed, eyes wild with defiance. Or John Milton's Paradise Lost, where Lucifer's a tragic hero turned tyrant. Over centuries, art, sermons, and stories hammered it home. Lucifer, the light-bearer, fell into darkness and became the devil. Except, here's the catch. There's no ancient text that says this. Not the Hebrew Bible, not the New Testament, not a single scroll ties Lucifer to Satan outright. It's a myth, a house of cards built on a shaky translation, propped up by human imagination. So, if Lucifer isn't the devil, who is? Let's meet the real player, Satan. Now, Satan's a different beast, or maybe not a beast at all. Forget the pitchfork and the fire, that's later baggage. In Hebrew, Satan isn't a name, it's a title, meaning adversary or accuser. In the Jewish tradition, he's not God's enemy, he's God's employee. Picture him as a cosmic prosecutor, testing humanity's mettle. In the book of Job, Satan strolls into heaven, chats with God, and says, let's put Job through the ringer, see if he cracks. He's not evil, he's a challenger. A quality control guy making sure faith holds up. But as Christianity took root, that role got torched. The early church was wrestling with sin, temptation, a world full of pain. They needed a bad guy, not a divine HR rep. So, Satan got a promotion from accuser to arch enemy, the dragon of revelation, the serpent of every nightmare. And then comes the masterstrokey. Someone decided Lucifer and Satan were the same guy. Why? It's a hell of a story, pun intended. A shining angel falls, turns dark, and wages war on God. It's gripping, it's emotional, it sells. But it's fiction piled on fiction. By merging Lucifer's light with Satan's opposition, Christianity didn't just rewrite a character, they rewrote reality. The light bear became the Prince of Darkness. And that flip came with a price, because here's where it gets sinister. They didn't just mess with names. They turned knowledge itself into the enemy. Think about the Garden of Eden. You know the drill: Eve, the serpent, the fruit, the fall. In the Christian spin, that serpent's Satan, and since Satan's now Lucifer. It's all one big evil package. But what's the sin? Eating from the tree of knowledge. Let that hit you. The crime, the thing that dooms humanity, is wanting to understand, to see beyond the veil. Knowledge becomes the poison, and the serpent, Lucifer, Satan, is the dealer. It's a brilliant setup if you're running a control game. Tell people curiosity's dangerous. That questions lead to ruin, and you've got them locked in, obedient, scared, blind. But there's another version of this tale, one the church didn't want you to hear. In the shadows of history, in Gnostic texts and esoteric circles, Lucifer's no villain, he's the hero. These secret teachings flip the scripture. The serpent isn't tricking Eve. He's waking her up, handing her the keys to her own power. Knowledge isn't the fall, it's the ascent. The moment humanity stops being puppets and starts asking why. In this view, Lucifer's the light bearer in the truest sense, a guide, a spark, a rebel against ignorance. So, we've got two stories slugging it out. The church says Lucifer's evil. Knowledge is sin. Shut up and follow. The mystics say he's enlightenment, and questioning's the path to freedom. Which brings us to the real bombshell. What if the church didn't just get Lucifer and Satan wrong? What if they botched Jesus and God, too? Stay with me, because this is where the ground shakes. Let's talk Jesus. Revelation 22, verse 16, he says, "I am the bright morning star." That's Lucifer, the shining one, the light bearer. Look at what Jesus does. He heals, he teaches, he challenges the powerful, he brings truth to the downtrodden. He's a walking, talking dawn. Everything Lucifer originally stood for. And here's the kicker. In the secret book of John, a Gnostic text the church banned, Jesus isn't just the morning star, he's the serpent in Eden. Yeah, you heard that right. In this story, he's the one nudging Adam and Eve to eat, to wake up, to claim their inner light. No fall, just a rise. So, Jesus and Lucifer are starting to look like twins, bearers of wisdom, rebels against the dark. But if Jesus is Lucifer, what about God? Let's crack open the Old Testament and face the music. This God, Jehovah, Yahweh, isn't warm and fuzzy. He's drowning the world in a flood, torching Sodom and Gomorrah, demanding blood and blind loyalty. In Judges 11, he green lights Jephthah's daughter as a burnt sacrifice, a virgin roasted alive to prove a point. That's not love, that's control, fear, power, tripping. That's satanic in the deepest sense. This God's an accuser, a tyrant, a shadow, and he's sounding a lot more like Satan than Lucifer ever did. What if Jesus isn't this God's son? What if he's this God's foe? It's a wild thought, but it's not new. The Gnostics saw Jesus as a divine insurgent, battling the Demiurge, a false god obsessed with domination. The Cathars, a medieval sect, bought it too. They said the Old Testament, God ruled a corrupt world, and Jesus came to break us out. Marcion, who put together the first Christian Bible in the 7th century, went all in. He axed the Old Testament completely, arguing Jesus, Father, couldn't be that wrathful deity. But the church, they weren't having it. After the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, with Rome's muscle behind them, they locked it down. Jesus is the son of the Old Testament God. No questions allowed. They chased down the Gnostics, wiped out the Cathars in the Crusades, and torched anyone who dared disagree. Here's where it all ties together. Lucifer isn't Satan. Jesus might be Lucifer, the light. The God of the Bible might be Satan, the shadow. These aren't just names, they're archetypes, symbols that dig into the core of what it means to be human. And the way they're spun is power. When the church made Lucifer evil and hitched him to Satan, they turned light into something to dread. They made knowledge a sin, curiosity a curse, tools to keep us small, scared, compliant. But flip it, see Lucifer as enlightenment, like the mystics did, and you've got a call to arms. Question everything, seek truth, break free. This isn't ancient trivia, it's alive today. Politicians wield these symbols to claim divine right. Media twists them to shape your mind. Culture feeds you narratives to keep you in line. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can take these archetypes back, make them yours. Because here's the real truth. The light isn't out there in some old book or mythical figure. It's in you. Darkness is ignorance. Light is wisdom, courage, the fire you strike when you dare to think for yourself. So, what's the move? Question the stories, dig deeper. The tales we've been sold about Lucifer, Satan, Jesus, God, they're not gospel, they're drafts, rewritten by human hands for human ends. True awakening isn't swallowing what's served, it's finding your own spark in the shadows. If this lit you up, dive into my video Jesus Christ is Lucifer for more. Want to fuel this fire? Hit my Patreon or join my YouTube membership at Tier 2 or higher for exclusive drops. Shout out to my supporters. You're the pulse of this movement. I'm Morg. I'm Neo-Jinan. And we're not just telling stories, we're waking the world. See you next time.